My doctoral research looks at societal responses to the issue of violent extremism in Canada. Now, when we're talking about violent extremism or radicalization, these are concepts that have now become normalized in public discourse, but they didn't really exist prior to the mid-2000s. They emerged in the aftermath of a series of high-profile incidents of homegrown terrorism in Europe, such as the London Underground bombing in 2005, the Madrid train bombings, and the murder of Dutch filmmaker Theo van Gogh. These events shifted Western perceptions of the threat of Islamic terrorism and sparked new interest in investigating why individuals would carry out such attacks on their home soil. Soon, a science was built around these ideas of radicalization and violent extremism. Models were constructed that detailed the stages of the radicalization and violence process, and programs were devised to preempt vulnerable individuals from going down the pathway of committing terrorism. This field is often called countering violent extremism, or CVE for short. Much of this CVE work, in terms of impact, has been difficult to measure, though it has received criticism, particularly related to the PREVENT program by the UK government, for its stigmatizing impacts on Muslim diaspora communities, stifling expression of political dissent, and reinforcing their post-9/11 image as a suspect community. Today, we have a situation that invites renewed critical inquiry, as the science and concepts behind CVE are now being used in multiple new contexts, particularly to understand and combat forms of right-wing extremism, such as white nationalism and incel violence. My research has shown that this has led to major changes in the field of CVE, involving employing many actors outside the confines of government-led programs, and also resulting in changes to the way that the violent extremism problem is conceived. We're now witnessing increasing links made between the idea of violent extremism and hate-based behaviors, and in connecting this phenomenon to wider social concerns such as social polarization. This leaves critical questions over the meaning and function of CVE work in our societies, particularly as techniques spread further into education, health, and social services. Can CVE be done better? How will it impact Canadian society as the field develops here? My ethnographic-based fieldwork with CVE actors attempts to gain a grounded look at the social meaning of this ever-evolving paradigm as it expands into new contexts and attempts to tackle new and more complex social problems.